Well Nation, how are you? Leslie Benedetto, Kate Harris.
How are you?
And here we are again. It's a Tuesday and we are finishing up our month one habit, meal planning. For some of you, it's going really well. I'm getting good feedback. People are planning, and having a plan is not even half the battle.
Right.
It's the battle.
Yeah.
But then there's a whole other group who isn't planning. And here's one thing I want to say about that. Because what happens when we don't plan, life gets busy, takeout, restaurant. And it became, yesterday I posted on my personal page some information on popular restaurants that you can go to anywhere in the country just about. And even I was shocked at the calorie count, the fat. I thought when I was eating at these places, I was guesstimating this much.
Sure. I think
double it.
When we eat out at a restaurant, I think we think more about portion size.
Right.
And so we think, oh, well, if I only eat half of it, or, whatever your logic that you may apply to it, you think, oh, well, then I'm okay. But you're right, it was very surprising. So here's the thing. If you've been following us or you come to Be Well Nation Fitness Center, you know that our answer is not going to be, well, kiss those chain restaurants goodbye.
Or
You're never going to eat there.
You're only going to eat at home.
Yes. Yes.
You may as well just grow the garden right now.
Instead
because
of homeschooled, you're home fed.
Yes.
You're never leaving.
I love that.
You're home
We
fed.
need t-shirts. I'm a home feeder.
You're right. That's not going to happen because that's not life. You're going to go out with your friends after work. You're going to go to family meals because grandma likes to go to this restaurant and that's her favorite. Your kids are going to want treats and go out where it is. But what we want to talk about today, okay, so you're going to go there. Most of the time, how many of us spur of the moment say, oh, we're going? You usually know when you're going to head to a place like that. So what are you going to do that day to bring some balance? And so that at the end of that day, you don't go, well, I messed up the whole day. Just gonna, you feel bad about yourself, right? So we want to avoid that and bring some balance in.
Right, and I think, and that's, you're planning to eat out. So when you plan your meals, you might even have on your meal plan, and I don't have a big, Excel spreadsheet with meals.
Color-coded.
It's Monday, crock pot, whatever. But it might, on Friday, we do pizza Fridays. I started that years ago with my kids, and I cannot deviate because they act like they'll never get pizza again or something. I don't know. So it says on the Friday, pizza. So I need to plan around that and make sure that what I'm providing them for breakfast that day, lunch, and the dinner before that is not too high calorie fat.
Right.
You've got to plan around. So if you have a plan, you can plan around it. If you don't have a plan, you're coming home from work and you're like, pick up, take out, then you can't plan around that.
No, because you've already done, and what if you went out to lunch that day at work?
Right.
What if you just grabbed a bagel on your way to breakfast? And now that, you're right, that day is out of balance and you won't feel as good about it as you would if you had provided a little balance earlier in the day.
Right.
We do something similar. We have Takeout Tuesday because I work late on Tuesday night. So I stopped.
Work early, late on Tuesday. It's pretty much just
it's
work.
a split day. Yeah. So that's a long day. So it's Takeout Tuesday for my husband and son. And I stopped the fantasy that I had that I wasn't going to eat any of that leftover takeout. I can't tell you how many months I was like, when I get home from work tonight, I'm going to have a blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to eat any of that leftover takeout. Lie.
Lies. I've been waiting to sing that.
So now my Tuesdays are set up a lot differently so that I make sure that it's a salad at lunchtime, that it's something really good earlier in the day to fuel me through my day, because I know when I go home tonight, that takeout will be there and I will have some.
Right. And here's another strategy for eating out. For years, health and nutrition professionals have been telling you, go out to eat, only eat half, take the rest home.
Before you even put your fork in.
Yeah, and here's what I'm going to tell you. Here, and I started doing this years ago. I love fettuccine Alfredo. I'm not going to cook it at home. I'm not going to make the skinny version at home. But every once in a while we go out to eat, I'll get fettuccine Alfredo. I'll have them throw some broccoli in it, so at least, counterbalance. I never take it home.
Why?
Because why would I eat a second day in the row something that I know nutritionally is not that great?
Okay. So
I love the taste of it. It's very comforting. I enjoy it then, but then I walk away. So I think sometimes we go out to eat.
we feel like I have to get my money's worth. I can't waste this.
But then, because what I found looking at these numbers from these restaurants, I was thinking certain food, maybe 700-800 calories. They were almost 2,000 calories. So you eat half of that, that's still 1,000 calories at one meal.
Right.
And then the next day you're going to eat 1,000 calories again at another meal. That's too high in fat, too high in sodium, too high in sugar. Eat.
Indulge, make it a treat. Sometimes
I don't say that make yourself eat the whole plate that night. But I mean, are you really saving money or getting your money's worth at what expense?
Right. Do you feel lousy if you eat for 2 days in a row? I mean, you have to ask yourself.
Oh, I know
questions.
certain places I'll come home and I almost have to put my mouth to the kitchen sink because the salt. I'm like, what the heck? Because
Yes.
I need so much water.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse mints.
Oh, it's terrible. So I mean, we got to reshape how we think. I'm going to get my money's worth. I'm going to,
Right.
is it your money's worth if?
Can we change the language from it's a cheat meal to it's a treat meal?
And it should be one.
Right.
Not
meal.
a treat day, not a treat weekend.
Yeah. You plan it, you look forward to it.
And if you plan it, I think you can get rid of a lot of the psychological guilt, shame, remorse. I know this is what I'm doing. I do it, I move on. Versus, well, here I am again,
Right.
blah, blah. No. So plan it, manage it.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with enjoying a meal that's too high in fat. Oh well, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say enjoy it daily, but enjoy it. If you're gonna do it, then do it.
That's a whole other periscope.
It is.
All the emotions that can go into lifting that fork. Woo.
Yeah. So, as we close out January, really consider how you're planning your meals. Not only the ones at home, but the ones you're eating out. It doesn't mean you have to avoid it. It doesn't mean you have to bring guilt, shame to sit next to you. But plan it, manage it, because that's life. And so you can either manage, plan, and enjoy, or it's going to drag you by the hair through it.
Right. The all or nothing, the illusion that I'm going to go to that restaurant and I'm not going to have my favorite dish.
Oh.
I'm not going to, right?
And this is one more thing I wanted to bring up about restaurants, because they do have these menus now about, 400 calories or less, 500. That's great. That being said, you need to be careful with those too, because that menu was developed in the test kitchen where they carefully measured and knew exactly. Once that goes into the restaurants, the cook may not have been properly trained. Okay? So, or they just they add oil to everything, fat. So you might not be getting in the restaurant calorie-wise.
You're crushing us.
I know. Because I've worked, and I'm not, this isn't bad mouthing cooks or anything,
No.
because I've worked in restaurants.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what happens in the test kitchen might not be duplicated on a regular basis to no fault of anyone. I mean, things get busy, butter starts flying.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with that too. Don't just assume, oh well, it says this, I'm good. If the veggies are shining, they were steamed and then floating in butter, that is probably not under 500 calories.
My vegetables seem a little too shiny.
I know, like, hi.
So next week we go into month 2, which is about portions.
Yes.
Portions versus servings. Portion planning.
Portion planning and servings.
Yeah.
I would say portion servings versus just calories.
Okay.
And once again, it comes back to meal planning because I had some looks on faces last night. If you're not planning what you're eating, how can you ever portion it?
Right. Know
What do
how
you-
much you should.
Because if you don't know how much to buy at the grocery store, how much you should be eating, and it all follows meal planning. I know how much I need to buy. This is what I should be eating. It all falls in place, and you can't skip around.
Yeah.
So that's next week, which I'm excited about.
Awesome. All right. So you can always find us. We do this once a week on Periscope. We have a YouTube channel. Just look up Be Well Nation Fitness Center. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We want global domination.
Technically, I'm on Twitter.
You observed.
I don't even know if I do that. I don't understand Twitter.
You're an
Oh.
observer of Twitter.
I need to go to the senior center for the free computer class.
Leslie Benedetto and Kate Harris for Be Well Nation. Have a great afternoon.